are the one. A sad love story. The first time Ethan saw Lily, it was raining. Not the kind of rain that people enjoyed watching from their windows. It was a cold, gray rain that turned the streets into mirrors and made everyone hurry to their destinations. Ethan was standing under the small roof of a bus stop, holding a book in one hand and a cup of coffee in the other. Then she arrived. Her dark hair was wet from the rain, and she was trying to protect a sketchbook under her jacket. She looked frustrated and tired, but when she finally reached the shelter and caught her breath, she laughed at herself. It was a simple laugh. Yet Ethan felt something change inside him. Lily noticed him looking and smiled politely. "Bad day?" Ethan asked. She looked at the rain and nodded. "The worst." That was the beginning. Neither of them knew that one day they would become the center of each other's world. Over the following weeks, they kept meeting at the same bus stop. At first, they exchanged simple greetings. Then conversations. Then stories. Ethan learned that Lily loved drawing. She carried her sketchbook everywhere and dreamed of becoming an illustrator someday. Lily learned that Ethan wanted to become a writer. He spent most of his time reading novels and filling notebooks with ideas he was too shy to show anyone. They were different in many ways. But somehow, every conversation felt effortless. One evening, Lily asked, "What do you write about?" Ethan smiled. "Mostly things I'll never have." "Like what?" "Love." She laughed. "How can you write about love if you've never had it?" Ethan looked at her. "Maybe because I'm waiting for it." For a moment, neither spoke. Then the bus arrived. But something had changed. Both of them felt it. Months passed. Their friendship became inseparable. They explored bookstores together. They sat in parks talking for hours. They shared dreams, fears, and secrets. When Ethan published his first short story online, Lily was the first person to read it. When Lily sold her first artwork, Ethan celebrated as if it were his own success. People around them assumed they were already a couple. Yet neither confessed their feelings. Perhaps they were afraid. Perhaps they didn't want to risk losing what they already had. But love has a way of revealing itself. One autumn evening, they sat beside a lake watching the sunset. The water reflected golden light. The world seemed quiet, perfect. Lily leaned her head against Ethan's shoulder. "I don't know what I'd do without you," she whispered. Ethan's heart raced. "Then don't find out." Lily looked at him. For the first time, she saw everything he had been hiding. And for the first time, he saw the same feelings in her eyes. They kissed, softly, gently, as if they were afraid the moment might disappear. That night, both of them knew. They were in love. The next 2 years were the happiest years of their lives. They built a future together. A future filled with hope. Ethan completed his novel. Lily opened a small art studio. They talked about marriage, about children, about growing old together. Every dream included the other person. Every plan began with, "we." Sometimes Ethan would look at Lily and wonder how he had become so lucky. She wasn't just the love of his life. She was his best friend. His home, his reason. One evening, as they walked through the city lights, Ethan stopped. "Lily." She turned. He knelt on one knee. Tears instantly filled her eyes. "Will you marry me?" She laughed and cried at the same time. "Yes." People around them applauded, but neither noticed. They only saw each other. 3 months later, everything changed. Lily began feeling tired. At first, she ignored it. Then came headaches. Then dizziness. Then fainting. Ethan convinced her to visit a doctor. The tests took weeks. The waiting felt endless. Finally, the doctor called. They sat together inside a quiet office. The doctor's expression told them the truth before he spoke. Lily had a serious illness. A rare and aggressive disease. Treatment was possible, but the chances were uncertain. The room felt smaller. The air felt heavier. Ethan squeezed Lily's hand. Neither spoke. Neither cried. Not there. Not yet. That night, they sat in silence. The city lights glowed outside the window. Lily finally broke down. "What if I die?" Ethan immediately shook his head. "You won't." "But what if I do?" "You won't." Tears rolled down her face. "I don't want to leave you." Ethan pulled her into his arms. For the first time in years, he cried. Not because he was weak, but because he was terrified. The following months became a battle. Hospitals, treatments, medicines, pain, hope, fear, repeat. Some days Lily looked stronger. Some days she could barely stand. Yet she never stopped smiling for Ethan. And Ethan never stopped believing. Even when doctors warned them. Even when statistics looked hopeless. Even when reality became cruel. Love made him stubborn. One afternoon, Lily handed Ethan a box. "What's this?" "Open it later." "Why later?" She smiled sadly. Just promise me. Reluctantly, he agreed. Winter arrived. Snow covered the city. Christmas lights decorated the streets. People celebrated. Families gathered. Life continued. Yet Ethan noticed something frightening. Lily was getting weaker. Much weaker. One night she couldn't sleep. So they sat together by the window watching snow fall. Do you remember the bus stop? Lily asked. Ethan smiled. The rain, the worst day of my life. No, Ethan whispered. The best day of mine. She laughed softly. Then tears appeared in her eyes. I'm scared. Ethan held her hand. So am I. Weeks later, Lily was admitted to the hospital again. Doctors tried everything, but the disease continued spreading. One evening, Ethan sat beside her bed. Machines beeped quietly. The room felt cold. Lily looked at him. Promise me something. Anything. When I'm gone, keep writing. Stop. Promise me. No. Ethan. Tears filled his eyes. No. She smiled weakly. Please. He lowered his head, and finally nodded. I promise. The next morning, Lily seemed peaceful. More peaceful than she had been in months. The sunrise painted soft colors across the room. She looked at Ethan. I love you. He kissed her forehead. I love you too. Always. Always. Lily smiled, then closed her eyes, and slowly drifted to sleep. A sleep from which she never woke again. The funeral took place beneath a gray sky. Friends and family gathered. Many cried. Some prayed. Ethan stood silently, unable to process reality, unable to imagine a world without her. The woman who had become his entire future was gone. And suddenly the future itself felt empty. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Yet grief remained. Every street reminded him of Lily. Every song, every season, every dream. One evening, Ethan finally remembered the box. The box Lily had given him. His hands trembled as he opened it. Inside were hundreds of drawings. Drawings of him, reading, writing, laughing, sleeping, living, moments he never knew she had captured. At the bottom lay a letter. Ethan unfolded it carefully. It read, My Ethan, if you're reading this, it means I couldn't stay as long as we wanted. I'm sorry. I wanted a lifetime with you. I wanted wrinkles and gray hair and grandchildren. I wanted every ordinary day, but life had other plans. Please don't spend your life mourning me. Carry me with you, but keep living. Keep writing, keep dreaming, fall in love with life again. Because loving you was the greatest gift I ever received. And if souls truly meet again, I will find you. In another life, in another time, because for me, it was always you. You are the one, forever yours, Lily. Ethan cried harder than he ever had before. Yet for the first time since her death, he also smiled. Because even though she was gone, her love remained. Years later, Ethan became a successful author. His most famous novel was dedicated to one person, Lily. Readers around the world loved the story. Many called it beautiful, many called it heartbreaking, but only Ethan knew the truth. It wasn't fiction, it was a memory of a girl he met in the rain. A girl who changed his life. A girl he never stopped loving. And on quiet nights, when rain tapped against his window, Ethan would look at the sky and whisper, You are the one, and somewhere beyond the stars, he hoped Lily could hear him. T.